positions, of which 646 are funded, 605 of these are filed, 41 are vacant, and 247 are unfunded. This presents a challenge to the department chairperson, which will either need to meet a shortfall or it would have to implement more drastic measures in line with the austerity measures announced by the finance minister in his 2016 budget speech. Furthermore, Chairperson, backlogs in the housing sector are to an extent of 1.8 million units, and this has been witnessed by the protests. One of the reasons the inability of some voters to register for the 2016 municipal election is the failure to provide formal residential addresses, partially due to the lack of formal housing by the state. The title deeds backlog, also estimated, is about 900,000 and 1.45 million, and the goal of eradicating this is set for 2019. These backlogs, Honorable Chairperson, relate to pre- and post-1994 era. Houses for which title deeds have not been used have been referred to as dead assets. Despite the fact that they have embarked on a title deed restoration project, the cost of 27,000 issued by the October 2015 is estimated at 1.4 billion. Funds will be sourced from the HS Human Settlement Development Grant. Provincial implementation plans were being drafted towards the end of 2015 for the execution in provinces, Chairperson. Finally, I would like to say this program relates to the informal nature in which sales of RDP houses take place. We know the laws, they know the laws, you cannot sell an RDP house within 8 years, but ironically it's been happening year after year and the minister is quiet about it. I thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you. Any party to do the declaration? Honorable ANC, Honorable Dlamini.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Cabanga ukuthi abantu bala eSouth Africa namuhla bayabona ukuthi iDA injani. Futhi angathi nokuthi kukhale enyoneni namhlanje kuDA. In fact, le sitting arrangement isentele ifavor because namuhla babonakala kahle. If ungabuka ngala ka far right wami, you can see ukuthi what kind of an organization is that. Out of 40 votes, Lama Department ang 40, 33 of them bayawa rejecta. Okusho ukuthi kuwo onke lama department ang 33 awavalwe angabi khona, including human settlement. Bathi iDA asiyekele ukwakha tindlu sakhele bantu bakithi, but bayabasebenzisa ukuthi bayobavotela le kuma campaigns namarali abekho bona cula abantu bakithi labahluphekela abadzinga tindlu nabafika la eParliament bathi bona akungakhiwa tindlu, abantu bakithi abangakhelwa tindlu. Sina singu ANC sithi kule tindlu leti more than.
Honorable Dlamini, sorry. Honorable Faber.
Chairperson, I don't know if it's just the interpretation, but what I hear is that this member is saying in Afrikaans, which is my language, maybe I'm wrong, but I need to get this very clear. It is said that the DA says that we must not build houses for the poor. Now that is definitely misleading the House. And it's a blatant lie. As we've showed in the Western Cape province, where the DA rules, that we've
Honorable
got the
Faber.
best record on
Honorable
building
Faber.
houses for the poor.
Honorable Faber. Honorable Faber, you stood up. I thought you were raising a point of order, and that was not a point of order. It's not a point of order. It's not a point of order.
Chairperson.
A substantive motion. There is no place for a substantive motion in the rule book. And you know this honourable member is not telling the truth. 47-2.
Chairperson.
Let me assist.
We
Can you take your
actually
seat?
did send you the rule book so that you can
Can you
make
take your
sure,
seat?
because if you in two minds, please read the rule book
Yes.
and understand.
I want to read it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've got I've got three of them. I've decided to leave the one that I have. I'm reading the one that has been given by Honorable Mikalakis. Rule 44 in that book that you have given me, Honorable Member, is the rules of the NCOP. A member may speak if it's being recognized. You can't just stand up as a member and speak in the council. And that's what we are doing, Honorable Member. And these are the very same rules that we are undermining. For you to speak in the council, you must be recognized. You can't just stand up and speak. Honorable Faber, we are recognized. Can you speak?
Chairperson, I made my point that this member is definitely misleading the House
It's a
and
point.
lying.
I made a ruling that is not a point of order.
But Chairperson, this member can't get away with a blatant lie like that. And
Can you continue, Honorable
You
Dlamini?
are again protecting your ANC members, and you're not treating us all the same.
Take your seat, Honorable Dlamini. Sorry, Honorable Abuskakhan.
Honorable Chair, before the break, I referred to Rule 47B, which is there. It exactly states that it's unparliamentary for any member in this House to state a fact that is false. Then you ruled that we can do a substantive order. I asked you 2 times because I know there is no substantive motion in the no rule book. Now, over and over again in this House, the same member is doing the same thing. And there's no rule on that. And this is a message that's going out which is wrong. And if we cannot come to a conclusion on this, that will leave me nothing else than to write a letter and ask the chair to refer this matter to the Committee of Privileges and Conduct. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm fine with the proposal that is being made by Honorable Labuskakhan. It's assisting the House to refer the matter so that it can be attended accordingly. And that is in order, Honorable Labuskakhan. Honorable Mikalakis?
Thank you, Honourable House Chairperson. Honourable House Chairperson, I would like you to please take the copy of the rules that I sent up to you a bit earlier for you to read and get acquainted with, and go to Rule 46B. And you will find that Rule 46B, and I would like your ruling on this, Rule 46B says, no member in the House may make a statement that he or she knows, deliberately make a statement that he or she knows is false. It was the point of order from Honourable Faber that the member made a statement that she deliberately knew was false, and I would like your ruling on Rule 46B. Thank you.
Honorable members, I'm not going to subject the House to the discussion of the rules. The very same point that is being made by Honorable Mikalakis, a ruling was made about the very same point, and there was a ruling about it. Honorable Dlamini, can you continue with your declaration? Continue, Honorable Dlamini.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I just want to say it in English, what I was saying earlier, so that...
Okay, sorry, Honorable Dlamini. Honorable...
Everybody's talking around the issue. Honorable Dlamini is lying. And I want you to call me out of order because I'm not going to put it back. She's lying to the people of South Africa.
Honorable Lond. Honorable Muhapi. Honorable Lond. Honorable Labuskakhan has made her view about the issue. And as an officer presiding, I said it's a correct view about it, that it has to be taken to the right body to process it accordingly. And there's no need for us to engage about it. Can you continue, Honorable Dlamini?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Maybe I should take a line of educating.
No, take your seat, Honorable Trimbi. Honorable Dlamini, take your seat. Honorable Trimbi.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I want to know whether it's parliamentary to say an honourable member is lying in Parliament.
Honorable Trimbi.
And he repeated that thing, that language. Chair.
Honorable Trimbi. It's part of the package of the issue that has to be processed. I'm not taking a ruling about the very same issue. Continue, Honorable Dlamini.
Chairperson, ngithi mina. I-implication, i-DA lokulekwentaka ayati usiyendani. Because i-implication yalama budget votes, lama department ang 33, abawa objectayo. Isho ukuthi ama-services awamiswe. Let's stop services. That is the implication. Awekho manga lapho. Otherwise, it means they don't know what they are doing in this house today. If they are disputing that, they don't know what they are doing. That is why I'm saying, angathi usikhale enyonini namhlanje. Bayatiphikisa. Bathi bona singa approve ibudget yokwakha tindlu. Uma singa approve akuzi kuba namali yokwakha tindlu. Therefore, there will be no houses built because budget has been approved. That is the implication of it, what you are
Honorable
doing.
Dlamini, your time has expired. Honorable Kaula.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. The IFP wishes to raise the following concerns in respect of the Department of Human Settlements. The first issue is gross underspending by the provinces. Example, the Provincial Department of Human Settlements in Gauteng in the financial year 2014-15 underspent by 1.4 billion. The same department in Gauteng underspent by 1.2 billion in the financial year 2015-16. And Honorable Chairperson, this is all because of poor planning in this department, both at national level and also at the provincial levels. That has got to be attended to. The next issue, Honorable Chairperson, is the poor quality of houses provided by the contractors who are acquired by this department. This is all again because of favoritism, and there are no penalties that we see to those people who do not provide quality houses for our people. And lastly, Honorable Chairperson, the RFP is also concerned with this issue of hostel dwellings. Some of the compounds in the hostels were finished some 10 years ago, but they remain vacant, they remain standing because the department does not care. To the extent that these compounds are now being vandalized, but there is just no action. We would like the department to also start budgeting for the hostel compounds in South Africa. I thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you. Any division on this one? No. I now put vote 39. Any objections?
Object, declare and divide.
Let me see the numbers for the division. Thank you. Then, note the objection of the DA. Let's have the declaration. Honorable Smith.
Thank you, Honorable House Chair. I firstly want to start off by saying that the South African people must please see who has been leading this debate today. It came from here, from this corner, from the Democratic Alliance, and that the ANC was reactive throughout this debate. They didn't once start the debate on this. They reacted, they wrote on pieces of paper reactions to what we are saying. So thank you for the compliment that the DA is leading government, in fact, in this House.
Yes.
And the Honorable Member Dlamini, who lied blatantly to us here today, must please listen very carefully to what I'm saying now. Honorable Chairperson, the Department of Rural Development and Land Reform still have no clear plan to settle not only the existing outstanding claims, but also new claims that already exceeded 104,000 as we stand here today. If we take the current pace and budget as a guide, it will take this department around 200 years, 200 years to finalize the claims that is on the table currently. The ANC government has failed dismally in dealing with land reform and rural development. If you look at the Makgowa tea estates, for example, where those people are now 10 years since they've claimed, more than 10 years in fact, and the land is still not in their name. It is in the name of DAF. As an example only, the budget is shrinking and even less can be expected going forward, thanks to President Zuma's constant blunders. Thanks to President Jacob Zuma's constant blunders. This department is undermining the constitutional rights and economic freedom of communal communities by denying them full ownership of their residential properties. This is a constraint to the economic growth and rural development, and thus place a cap on the opportunity for job creation and entrepreneurship. And this could help to reduce the 8.9 million South Africans who is without jobs today, which you, all of you as the ANC are standing grandstanding. You don't care about them, and they are increasing day by day.
Honorable Smith, I'm afraid your time has expired.
Thank you.
Any party? Honorable Sfako, ANC.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Thank you. The African National Congress outrightly support this budget vote because we know the objective of this budget. We are aware exactly what is it that is addressing. This budget vote simply says no African will ever be a slave or a pariah in his or her land or her native land. This budget vote ensures that farm dwellers and farm workers should never be evicted by the aristocratic bourgeois farmers. When we approach the elections, we'll be seeing them running around evicting those that are not even voting for them. We are aware. Those that are against this budget vote are simply saying the landless should never have access to land. Those that are not voting for this budget are still dragging us to the old...
Honorable Sefako, I'm afraid your time has expired.
The African National Congress supported this vote.
Thank you
very much.
Division? Okay. Yes. Divide. Let me see the numbers. Okay. Thank you. That's the threshold. Thank you. Those in favor? Thank you. Those are against? Thank you. Abstaining? The results of the division are as follows. In favor, 29, against 9, abstaining 0. The majority have voted in favor. I therefore declared vote 39 as agreed to. I now put vote 40. Any objections?
Declare.
Objection. Let's note the objection of the Democratic Alliance and the declarations. Let's get to the declarations. It's declarations.
Yes, Chair, declaration.
Okay. You can do the declarations. DA, Honorable Lund.
Honourable Chairperson, the foundation of having diverse sporting bodies representing us gets laid at the school level. At a school level where the government is currently failing the kids of South Africa. Not just failing in ensuring that they have a proper education system, failing that they can compete in the job market, but also failing them.
Order, members.
But also failing to giving kids across South Africa the chance and the opportunity and the access to exposing them to various sporting codes. Chairperson, this ANC government is failing on every single ground, whether it is improving the economy, whether this is preparing the youth for accessing the economy. This government is failing, Chair.
Thank you. Any party for declaration? Honorable Zwane for ANC.
Thank you, Chairperson. Ngifuna youth intsha lapha ngaphandle emakhaya yazi ukuthi sibambene nempila. Impi yokuthi sihlalo sifuna ukuyakhela ama ground ngebudget yaka sports and recreation. EDA ithi kude ngeke kuze kwenzeke lokho. Njobe objector kwi budget.
Honorable Zwane.
Kunodaba.
Zwane. Sorry, Honorable Zwane. Can you take your seat, Honorable Smith?
Honorable House Chair, I don't know if the translation is correct, but the honorable member made a very serious accusation here and said it's an allegation that it says it's a declaration of war. A declaration of war. That's what the English translation says. I want to know whether she's also part of the EFF. Because that is a very serious. We are standing here in front of South Africans. We are not here to entertain each other here. We are working on behalf of South Africans.
Yeah.
And saying that is a very, very serious matter.
Order, members. Order. Order. Order, members. Honorable Smith. Honorable Smith. Honorable Smith, that was the figure of speech. It's not what she is
Hambani
saying.
impela hambani. Ngoba inesiphazamisi. Bengisasho sihlala ukuthi sibambene nempi yokuthi kukhona abangafuni ukuthi umuntu omnyama impilo yakhe ithuthuke ibe sezingeni elifanele. Kuyasikhathaza ke uma ngabe lokho bezokwenza ngisho nasentsheni eyikusasa lalelizwe. Bayahamba ke manje ngoba ngempela abafuni ukuthi siyokwakha ama ground eindaweni zasemakhaya emakhosini. Kunesivumelwano la sihlalo phakathi komnyango wezemfundo nomnyango wakwa sports and recreation ukuthi kokwakhiwa ama ground eindaweni zasemakhosini ngemali okuthiwa imig bese kuthathwa ama professionals akwa sport ayoqoqosha izingane kuma sports code. Kunodaba le transformation of certain sports code. That is why EDA ihamba ngoba ayifuni ukuthi kube khona transformation kwi rugby. Abafuni kube khona i-transformation ko cricket ngoba lo ma sport sebawathatha bawenza ama sport okungawabo. Uhulumeni kaka ANC uthi lawo ma sports azo transforma bayathanda abathandi. I-department yaka sports and recreation ifuna ukusiza ama athletes lawo aba ama professionals
ukuthi aqeqeshwe akwazi ukuyobamba iqhaza emazweni angaphandle ayifuni DA isiphumile yahamba yashiya kulendlu sifuna uqikekela njengohulumeni kaKhongolose ukuthi
Honorable Zwane, thank you. Any party? That concludes the consideration to the vote. I shall now put the schedule. Are there any objection to the schedule being agreed to? I shall now put the question in respect of the third order. The question is that the bill be agreed to. In accordance with Rule 63, I shall first allow political parties to make their declaration of vote if they so wish.
Honorable Chairperson, the Inkatha Freedom Party, the official opposition of the NCOP, wishes to express its support for the appropriation bill with a variety of concerns. The IFP does so because it would not have been in the interest of South Africans to stall the functioning of government by implementing blockade tactics to the budget approval. The IFP, however, sounds a strong warning to those in power to be honest, to uphold integrity, and to put the interests of South Africans before their own egos. South Africa has coined a number of phrases that appear to be sounding nice but are lacking implementation. Phrases like doing more with less, cost-cutting measures, and so on, which are never a reality when it comes to spending. South Africa has suffered a great deal at the hands of bad government decisions which compromise the integrity of the country. It will not help South Africa to keep on increasing a debt that does not help grow the economy, but is only helping to line up the pockets of self-centered individuals. By simple logic, if our economy is not growing can be able to provide more jobs, it means that the country also needs to cut on spending. So far, what the country has done is to keep on increasing spending patterns each year, when on the other hand, the people are continuing to lose jobs. South Africa allocates a big chunk of the budget on social spending. Whilst social protection cannot be avoided under the circumstances similar to our situation, it is of concern that our social protection programs are not accompanied by exit strategies to empower beneficiaries to stand on their own feet. This kind of approach is not sustainable in the long run. It is also of concern that a big percentage of social spending is spent on sustaining the dependency of the people. This is intended to brainwash the mindset of our communities to the unrealistic belief that a political party is providing services. It is government that provides services and not a political party. As South Africa approaches the local government elections on the 3rd of August 2016, the IFP says to all South Africans, if you want to have a government of integrity in your municipality, vote IFP. If you want to have an honest government in your municipality, vote IFP. If you want to have a reliable councillor in your ward, vote IFP. If you want to have a councillor, a mayor, a speaker that you can trust, vote IFP. Ungethembela kumntwana wakaphinda ngene. Ungayethemba iIFP. I thank you, Chair.
Thank you. ANC, Honorable Mtara.
Thank you, Chairperson. The bill as presented reaffirms the NC's policy priorities. There is continued funding towards ensuring energy reliability, stimulating economic drivers such as agriculture, manufacturing, tourism, infrastructure, SMME development, SEZs, incentives, and finally skills and artisan development. For the longest part of our past, our economy has been built on three driving forces: labor, which was cheap; energy, which was inexpensive; and exporting commodities, which were high in demand. All three, these economic drivers have declined over time. Labor is no longer cheap, energy has become expensive, and the demand for our commodities has dropped. Faced with these realities, the ANC-led government has had to respond actively. Our collective responsibility, of course led by the ANC, calls on all of us to instill confidence in the public as well as private investor sectors. While we face our challenges head-on and bring hope to our people, the ANC-led government will lead the process of building social compacts and partnerships, as we appreciate the fact that anything that needs to be done for our people cannot be done by us alone. In keeping with our objective of building a developmental state, we recommit to build capacity in local government. We are dealing with our priorities and will expand on delivering them. Now, I have spoken about our collective responsibility, but let me focus on the responsibility of the organization that enjoys the majority support of its countrymen, protected by our democracy. The ANC must deliver a society that is prosperous, united, non-racial, and non-sexist. It has a responsibility to deliver and implement the National Development Plan. As much as other parties claim that it supports the NDP, but during the process of passing this bill, the Democratic Alliance have demonstrated clearly that they do not support transformation, do not support redress and equalizing the playing field. Yet we are told daily of their open opportunity and fairness beliefs. Creating opportunities is and must be a deliberate process. It will continue to be a deliberate process which will be funded, guided by the policy positions of the ANC. Unfortunately, I can't speak about the economic freedom fighters. They have not been part of the process from the beginning right until the end. The ANC supports the Appropriations Bill, which will see reprioritization within and across departments, yet not failing our responsibilities to deliver basic services, grow and stimulate the economy, and ensure that human dignity and respect is returned to the people. Unlike others, we support budgets to build houses, give water and sanitation to our people. We support the expansion of delivering electricity to homes and businesses, to holistically improve the economic condition of our people, to keep our citizens safe and secure, and expand relations with our counterparts, to keep our children in schools, educators, and our police personnel employed. It is said that great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, and small minds discuss people. We have heard no new ideas here today, but instead have been told about President Jacob Zuma, the First Ladies, Ministers Nomvula Mokonyane, Tina Jumat-Peterson, and others, almost insinuating that these budgets are personal transfers into these individuals' accounts. Let the South African people not be misled, but let them know here today that these budgets are to fund ideas, ideals, plans, and dreams of a better future. I thank you.
Thank you. We shall now proceed to the voting on the question. Yeah, let it be by show of hands, because you can't use the... They are counting. Thank you. The table is counting. Those that are voting against, abstaining, abstention is 0. Those that are voting against, 0. Members, 29 voted in favor. The majority of members have voted in favor. I therefore declare the bill agreed to in terms of Section 75 of the Constitution. Order, members. I think it will be in order, honorable members, as we are concluding the business of the day, to allow Chair to give the parting shots.
Who's taking photos? Please take your seats. Please take your seats. Order. Honorable members, I think I must start at the negative. And the negative is that in terms of the requirements of the House, the minimum of 30 members of this House must be in the House for us to pass the appropriation bill. We have counted, you were 30 in the House. The second thing is that you are about to go on your constituency relief and recess period. We wish to wish you well. We hope that all parties represented in this House will fare well. We also know that all parties will wish to gain as much ground on the local government elections as possible. From the presiding, we wish all the parties of the NCOP well. I want to say that members, where you can, you must take a good rest. We are coming back to deal with the rules of the NCOP. We are coming to deal with issues of discipline in the NCOP. We also wish, we have been discussing this on and off with the Chief Whip, issues of members of this House living without being granted permission. Honorable members, you don't tell us that you are leaving. You apply for leave. We grant you leave. Unless you have a little letter that has granted you leave, you are AWOL. And I think I want people to go and internalize this. We will also come back, honorable members, to a period where we will, as the institution, ask all members of the NCOP to put on their thinking heads into the manner with which we will be celebrating the 20th anniversary of the NCOP next year. It's been a house that has changed from the Senate into the NCOP. It has been a house that has been rocked with a lot of interesting changes. From the Naledi Surti relationship to the Mahlangu Venfuel, Mahlangu Ntwanambi, Modise, Matime. So we are looking at coming back to recapture the spirit with which the people who brought together the NCOP, the crafters of our constitution, were trying to get out of this. It is interesting because the ruling party has asked us to make inputs into the way forward about the capacity and the future of the NCOP. So I want to wish you well. I want to say that for those of you who stayed throughout, thank you very much. For those of you who decided to go, the different parties will see how they deal with the discipline. And I'm sure that there will be no mercy this time around. It will not be merciful. Because what we have experienced this evening is carelessness of members of this House. if we were one person short. Yes. So it is not, honorable members, anything easy. Ngifuna ukuhamba nami siyalingana la I am going. It is something that says I respect the rules because I have been entrusted with a responsibility. So I just thought, Nje, if I am entrusted with a responsibility, I must respect everything that comes with that responsibility. We have been honored to become public representatives, not our own representatives. And I always try to extend the meaning of public representatives, not being Utati Kaula representing IFP only, or Roma Modise representing the ANC only, but me walking in the street knowing that I represent anybody and everybody that I meet. And that is a huge responsibility, because tonight we carried the responsibility to represent the DA, the EFF, and Wonku Muntu. Because it is true that this budget that we have just passed must go and deal with each and every citizen of our country, irrespective of whether the representatives in the House voted or not. And for that, I want to thank you and wish you good night. Thank you. This House is adjourned.